Got my coffee.
Uh,
Yeah, I came across a topic that was really, really cool, folks. This is Colin from King Hated Outdoors. My co-host is Jason from Pest Hunter Outdoors,
hello.
and I've dealt with this particular topic right in person at least multiple times, due to various reasons, but not necessarily end of the world type situation. Like, have you ever had a place where you carpool and your carpool leaves you behind and you have to get home, but you don't have any way of contacting anybody? Back when I was doing it, I didn't have a cell phone back in the day, and you can't just call anybody when you don't have a cell phone. I'm sure you recall that kind of situation, Jason.
I was the driver.
Well, not everybody has that option. Well, when I was working for Pella Windows and Doors, I was on the van pool, which I pay so much per week to get the ride. But my boss of the line decided, oh, you're going to stay a little later. By the time I got done doing everything, my van pool was gone. And that's a considerable distance from where I lived at the time. And I did not have a bug out bag at the time. I did not have a normal back. This is before I started doing all that. And it was also not quite winter, but pretty close. It wasn't down into the absolute freezing, but it was pretty, probably about 35 degrees and wind. And trying to walk home about 15, 20 miles, it's a lot of miles, especially at night. Oh, sorry, let me correct myself. At 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when my shift was over. And yeah. How you doing, King? How you doing, Rob? Jason, again, thank you for coming. Yeah, we're going to be talking about get home bags, both the city version and the country version. Hey, Jay, how you doing, brother?
Jay, what's happening?
I'm not sure, Jay, if you or anybody else here has actually happened to use their get home bag to actually get home in I guess not necessarily a non-emergency situation, or you want to count it as your car breaks down halfway home in the middle of the night or something like that, or you blew a tire, and while you're not exactly home but you're close enough, you just gotta hoof it. I'm not sure if anybody's been in that situation. I know I have, or in the very rare occasion, I had to walk home because I ran out of gas. It's one of those when you're really poor and you got to do what you got to do. This is when that happened when Ian was a baby. So, not having a bug out bag or get home bag in this case really affected the way I could do things. I didn't have water with me. I didn't have the proper shoes. I didn't have half the gear I think I would need now that would get me there in a reasonable amount of time without causing injury to myself or anything else. And both times it was very highly difficult. It was a real eye-opener once I started getting into this community and learning the skills sets that I know now, this is before I started backpacking. This is before I had my stent put in my heart, realizing I had heart issues. And I'm not sure if anybody else has had that situation happen, but yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, if you're not, it's not from the fact that you're needing to spend a lot of cash, or if you don't have any. Like it's you're end of the pay period, you just paid your rent, you paid your other bills, and you barely have enough to get home, which is why you, like, say, in my case, I was using the van pool, which they take a little bit out of my check to pay for. It's just one of those things that I missed my ride, and there was no other people going the same direction I was. So the only logical thing I had left to do to get home, especially since it was a Friday, or sorry, my Friday, which was it was a 4-day work week because I worked 4 10s. At 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was off the next day. There's no one there to give me a ride home, especially when it was like about 35, 36 degrees. All I had was a hoodie and a long sleeve shirt. Now, I don't know about you guys. I may have been young and dumb at the time, but I was very well ear prepared for that kind of situation. Now, nowadays, I am definitely prepared. I've practiced. I have done everything. Right now, with my injury, that makes it a little bit more difficult because I have to carry my gear plus use a cane. Now, Jason, I know yours is not as far as mine.
Yeah.
But say you have your one vehicle is out, and you only have one vehicle, and that vehicle goes out for some unknown reason. And I'm sure you're not going to go ride behind your daughter on the way home on her motorcycle.
She drives a vehicle.
I thought with the other one, one of them rides a motorcycle, right?
Well, she has a motorcycle.
She has a motorcycle and a vehicle.
What if she had the only vehicle she brought that day was the motorcycle?
Yeah, no, she's got a little SUV now.
Oh, okay. Well, I was using that one as an example.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you'd be riding behind your daughter for that.
No.
But you'd have to find another way home. You don't have the cash for some unknown reason. On towards the car. Who knows?
Well, it's all downhill from work.
Yeah, but you got to have carrying light gear to get yourself home. Even a mile is still quite a bit if you're not used to it. Whether you're just carrying water, snacks, that kind of thing. Most people don't usually carry those things on a regular basis. A lot of you already know me and my gear because my gear is standard. I improve it as I go, but I carry water filtration. I carry an extra, an Nalgene bottle of water. What did I do with it? No, not this one, but the one I keep in my bag is similar to this one. Same brand, different kind, same size even. But I have recently discovered some other stuff that I have in my own house that I can add to supplement new things. I carry a Silcock key if I'm in the city, which is 90% of the time where I work, but I live 50 miles from where I work, which is a long walk for anybody. Now, from Jenny's workplace, it's about 48 or so, which is not bad, but still a long walk for someone both her and my ages with previous injuries. Does anybody have any examples of where they had to use their gear or anything like that?
Nope. I just practiced when I was younger. In my
That
teens.
doesn't work when you're older, though, Jason. How does it?
Well,
Because our bodies get old.
Oh, I know.
And you need to keep your hobo keys. Please explain. I mean, I carry a Silcock key in case I need water. But the thing is, 90% of the time, if you're in a regular, non-grid down situation, a lot of places wouldn't allow you to refill your water bottle, such as gas stations and things like that, at the fountains for little to no cost at all, depending on the situation.
Well, if you're in Arizona and somebody refuses to give you water,
They're not in Arizona anymore.
That's a bad thing for that person that refused to do water.
But you're not in Arizona anymore. So
Yeah, it is.
Texas rules.
Yeah, it is against the law in Arizona to refuse water.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing to know. Most people, if you didn't know that,
That's everywhere.
now, because like I said, get home situations are not always world ending. Like I said, like myself, missing your ride, your car breaks down, you miss a bus, whatever it is. I mean, it may not be 50 miles. It may be, hey, Rob, how you doing, brother? I saw something today at Goodwill and that I think that corn-fed needs. Now, I think you'll agree with me, Jason, once I say what it is. You know what the club is?
Yeah. So you can club people to death before they take your car.
Well, the one that goes across the steering wheel.
I know exactly what. Yeah.
I think he might need one of those. What do you think?
He doesn't have a problem with somebody taking his vehicle. He's got a problem with people taking stuff out of his vehicle.
Yep, that's pretty close to what I get. I've got a silk key that allows me to get water from buildings if I need to. But in a non-down situation, you don't necessarily have to do that. And generally, people who have water and they see that you need water, they'll offer, generally. Because not all people are bad or selfish or whatever. But just be careful, respectful, and that kind of thing. I think he understood about the club. We have one at my Goodwill. You want me to pick it up for you?
Oh, typically those are like about $4 at the hardware store, right?
Well, this one's probably cheaper than that.
I'm just letting everybody know.
What he also needs is bulletproof glass and chaining his gear down. Yeah, I know your truck was stolen 3 years ago. That's why I mentioned it. Now, I don't know how far you are from home from your workplace. I don't want to know. But if it's over a couple miles or whatever, if in the summertime, you can get into the triple digits fairly easily, with as well as the humidity being high as well. Texas, I remember correctly, does have some extreme temperatures.
Oh, yeah.
I know that it is California. Because I was both stationed at Lackland and Fort Sam Houston. I've dealt with the hottest days in the summer to some of the colder fall. We're talking about close to freezing temperatures in the fall.
Oh, yeah. I'll take those wet, dry days and those hot, dry days as well.
Yeah, but as soon as the humidity goes up,
oh yeah, way different.
But while you can carry water, but I mean, I can carry a limited amount. The thing is that I've got 1 liter, one 32-ounce bottle of water, which I carry with me on a regular. Wherever I go, I have it. I mean, if I have to do something to drink, if I have time to do so, I can heat up some water with what I have to make some coffee or whatever. But or some electrolyte drink mixes, that kind of thing, which is one people forget to do in this. Is switch out your bag through the seasons. Because so you may not need coffee, but you might need electrolytes. Or if you want to do a combination of both, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I said, I don't think I would make it halfway home before somebody recognized me and gave me a ride.
But you're like about a mile or so from home. I'm not saying how far exactly, but I'm just giving an example.
Yeah. Like I said, I know a lot of people in this town.
Yep. And Cliff is even about 15 miles from where he lives.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm the extreme on the far end because where I live now. Now, would I change where I live? No.
I love where I live.
I love where I live. It's just the fact is most people don't take into account non-emergency needs and reasons for using your get home bag. Whether you're from the city going to the country or you're going from the country to the city. Because if you're out of vacation or something and your car breaks down a little bit, about 10 miles from home, that's still 10 miles you got to walk. Now, is there a possibility you might get a ride? Sure. But you can't guarantee that. And it also depends on what's between you and home. Well, 25 minutes on the way home is not bad. But what if the weather's like really crappy? Or like you said, you had those severe storms you had to deal with the flooding as well, Rob.
Funny you should say that.
Huh?
Funny you should say that.
You guys are flooding?
No, last Tuesday.
Yeah.
We had that big storm.
Right.
95% of the crew scheduled called off.
I bet. That snowstorm?
Yep.
You're one of the few ones that made it to work, right?
Nope, that was my day off.
It was your day off. Now, I mean, I can imagine what it was like for someone like Doug or someplace further north, or even Trav and Mav, depending on where they're at in Florida. I think they're more north of Doug. And give me a second. Blake.
Let's see. Oh,
They had more snow than most because of the severe weather, weather patterns going on. Now, if you go off in a ditch and you have to walk home, I have had to do that because the one time I went off the road, I was 6 miles from home, but the road was closed to a tow ban. It happened on the way home. You don't have a control over when that's going to happen. So, give or take, you need to make sure that you know what your gear can do, that your gear is set for the time of year and location where you're going from. Now, not everybody is close to where they work. I do not want to be that close because they're the one where I work is that they're the kind of people that would, oh, can you come in at 10 o'clock at night? No. I am. That's after I've worked all day today. I'm not going to do that. I've had that happen.
That's
he's
me.
already on his way.
All right.
Hey, how you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Belt Loop's here.
Hey, Gary, what's going on?
Gary, thank you for coming, brother. I'm not sure where you work, Gary, compared to where you get home. One of the things that most people don't realize, get home bags are not necessarily just for end of the world emergencies. They're good for getting home and say your car goes in the ditch, because of the weather, or you blow a tire, you're like, say 6 to 10 miles from home, and there's tow's not going to be there until morning or something due to some unforeseen reason, or you miss your ride. Has happened to me. All those situations, or running out of gas, also happened to me. And making sure that your gear is set for the time period you're in.
Yeah, like I said, running out of gas is not fun.
What was that?
Running out of gas is not fun.
Oh yeah, it is definitely not.
Yeah, how hard it is to fart when you have no gas?
Ha 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 ha. Especially if your vehicle runs on methane.
Yeah.
One of the not having a gas can in your gear, I would consider that a get home bag type situation. Most people don't realize that your car equipment for your season you're in counts as your get home bag.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay. Now, if anybody has any stories about where they required to use the gear that they have, like I was trying to say before you got here, Gary, is that in the past, before I started getting into preparedness and hiking and backpacking and things like that, I did not carry a bag, such as I do now. I carried simple things that I thought I would need, but nothing close to what I needed. Like nowadays, I'd carry more winter-related items in my get-home bag. But in the summertime, you got to carry a lot more interesting items. Now, whether you're going to have to filter water or anything like that, like I was mentioning earlier, if you're coming in from a city situation and you're running low on water, you can pretty much go into any gas station or whatever and see about getting some water for your water bottle. They generally don't have much issue with that, especially when you're really running out, if it's really, really freaking hot. Or you can try to fill up before you leave your location if you're able to. I can understand that, Rob, they have everybody is like limited on what they can do in England. I'm sorry to say. So just get your butt and move to Illinois like we asked you to. But I'm not sure how far you live from where you work, Gary. So when I was in my 20s, or sorry, when I was in my 30s, right after Ian was born, or actually right before Ian was born, I got left behind by my van pool, and I had to walk from Pella to Oskaloosa, Iowa. Yeah, that's a good jaunt. If you miss your ride, your car breaks down, or some other unforeseen reason that you cannot catch a ride, that you're going to have to basically hoof it to your home. I now carry my extra medication in my bag. I carry shelter. I carry water. I carry fire making supplies if I need to, that kind of thing. But depending on if you like myself, who has an injury, like I have my knee replacement surgery next month, this 10 miles, even 5 miles, it is a long way. And not having the proper gear can hamper or basically exacerbate, I think the word is, the situation for you. I got what you said. I understood. I'm dyslexic, so I got it just fine. But like I said, when I first had to deal with situations like this, I got lucky a few times when I have ran out of gas before, because I was just out of the military the first time it happened when I was with my sisters, and being a soldier at the time, I got a ride right away because someone saw me in my uniform. So that helped. But hitching is not always the best option because you don't know who's going to pick you up. But there's situations where you can't get rides, or the weather is extreme, whether it's in our state, tornado season, or the weather is over in the triple digits with very high humidity. And you have to get home. It's after hours, and you're doing your darndest. Because one thing most people don't realize, even though I work in Urbandale, Iowa, to get from my workplace to Jenny's workplace on the road is 5 miles. But due to traffic and other obstacles along the way, the hills and such, it's a lot longer. It takes about 2.5 hours to walk there. Now, from Jenny's workplace is 42 miles or so. That's when I say 5 miles, I'm cutting across parks, walk bridges, the shortest freaking route available that's not on any map. Because one of the things I learned while I was getting ready for my backpacking trips to the first time up in Yellow River after my stint was put in, I learned a lot of shortcuts. But via road is probably 8 to 10 miles from my workplace to Jenny's, and then from Jenny's to home, not including that, it'll take us about 3 or 4 hours just to walk out of Des Moines, is going to be a long trip. Well, I can't run at the moment. I've got a knee injury, and though I have proper footwear, my knee is not proper anything. They're going to replace it next month with some a titanium setup, and I'm going to work my butt off to get it back in shape where I can do the stuff I used to do. I am a lot lighter than I used to be. I'm in size 48 pants, which are starting to be really, really baggy right now. So I'm assuming I might be into the 46 to 44 range when I started off at 52. And if you throw in adding my wife with me at the time, if something like that, if it happened to her car, where she cannot come get me, I can't get a ride. It's gonna, and we don't have the money for like a cab or what have you to get us home. We're gonna have to hoof it. That is very true. But I know what I would carry in this kind of situation because I'm used to it. My wife, on the other hand, is not, because we can't always guarantee we're going to have the right amount of cash to stop at a hotel, crash there, whatever, or ask a friend who can drive us all the way there, which would still, if we don't have a vehicle, makes us pretty much strands us where we're there to, that kind of situation, which we really don't want to do. Now, we do have two vehicles. I got my truck. She's got her car. Now, if her car breaks down and we're in Des Moines, we're trying to get home, the only thing we have left is the truck, but we got to get here first in order to use it. Now, I know the route from my workplace to Jenny's extremely well from a lot of practice. I'm talking 5 days a week for 3 or 4 months on the end, hiking from my workplace to her workplace, getting myself in shape. I'm a long ways from that right now, but I am a lot lighter than I was when I first did it. So once this knee is fixed, I am going to be working my butt off to get that self back in there. And I'm going to go back up to Yellow River where I did my backpacking. And I hiked about 50, 60 miles a week, depending on, let's see. Let me double check something just to be on the safe side, because I don't want to assume something real quick. I was just shy of 8 miles, like 7.3 miles to her place, or her workplace. So, and from her workplace to home, is another 50 miles, because we live on the other side of Newton. Hey, Dan. Hey, Tyler. How you doing? The topic tonight is get home bags, both rural and city, that you may need in a not necessarily a grid down situation, or just an everyday you need to get home and your car breaks down, or you miss your ride, you can't afford the bus, can't afford a cab, that kind of thing, and you're not close to home. Okay, I can understand that, Gary, but I will tell you this: a good treadmill makes a really good generator for a wind turbine. Just saying, the generator makes a really good generator to make power. Just saying. So if you ever see one on the side of the road, snag it, or take the motor out of it. You can set yourself a really cheap and easy generator, hook it up to an alternator. Bob's your uncle. You got power, as long as you got a good battery system to maintain it. Now, there are obstacles along the way. Lack of water, because not everybody's going to carry enough water, like myself, to go 58 miles to home. Good one there, Gary. I got it. I got it. Can anybody in their own world give an example of when you had to use your get home bag for a real life reason? I've already mentioned several for myself, but a lot of those, I never had gear. This is before I did all this and before I realized I had heart issues. Most of it was like right after I got out of the service. And yeah, it's going to be different. Hey, Doug. Well, that's the problem, because people, they say, oh, I've got one. But you need to practice with it. Until when you really, really need it, you won't know what you can do. That means that's why you also got to do practice hikes and walks with your bug out gear as well, because you don't know what's going to happen. Whether having checkpoints where you check yourself, because I'll be hiking with my wife, if in this case would happen, I'd find places where I could have to stop, because there's no way my wife and I are going to be doing over 50 miles in a single night. Even though on the map, walking, it says it's 15 hours. I am sorry. I don't think my wife and I could go that far in 15 hours with our previous conditions. Exactly, Dan. Exactly. And I never thought I would need it until I started doing what I'm doing now. Having the gear I have exactly at this moment, I have water filtration, I have shelter, I have sleeping bags, I have ways of making fire, ways of cooking food, carrying it with me. Well, I mean, I never thought I'd need it until now. I have some things that are in waterproof bags. My bag itself, I do carry in both my bags, backpacks and bags and stuff, I carry backpack covers. So in case to help keep water off my gear. Now, my get home bag does not, it's too small for a compactor bag or anything like that. But a lot of my gear is waterproof, or at least in waterproof containers. From just a simple, this right here is just one of the tarps many tarps that I have. This one is the Terra Nova Competition 2 one, which is fairly large. In my gear, which I normally carry with me when I'm traveling, especially with Jenny, I carry my bow, which is, I know it sounds stupid, I actually carry a bow with me generally, which is this bow right here. I have it down here below my table below you right now, where I can store it within reach, because I always end up grabbing stuff. I don't have anything to carry firearm wise, so I don't, because my workplace does not like it when you carry firearms to work. That's true. But one of the things that we do carry, I carry with me, is that I have a poncho, military poncho that I carry, which would go over me, and Jenny carries an umbrella, which is I know is not much, but her gear is my old backpacking gear, which comes with pack cover and all that other stuff, and I kept it really waterproof, so it's a very comfortable, easygoing bag. She was going to go with a smaller backpack that I had recently got last year at the Iowa State Fair, but as we were going through it, the bag itself is totally unacceptable. There are not enough tie-down points, nothing to hang a shelter system or anything like that. If you do, Gary, I would love to see it. Heck, I'd like to be a part of the panel when you go do that. Yeah, I mean, because I carry, I have like 3 tents that I carry, depending on which gear I've got. I've got my bushcraft bag, which has got a Light Fighter 1 setup. My backpacking gear, which has a Big Agnes Copper Spur 2 setup. My other one here, my get home bag, I generally carry a tarp system setup, but I can add another French Army Commando tent with that if I need to provide a little bit more protection, which I can carry outside the tent to outside the gear to give myself a little bit more protection wise. And I could use the tarp over that, even provide more protection from weather, whether it be high sun or rain, but not snow. I don't have a good snow setup. I don't have a vest. Not the vest that you think of. I mean, I do have vests up here that I would like old hunting vests, which are high vis orange, but not always want to do that. I was considering getting some roadside vests for emergencies, but I don't have any at the moment. Dang it. Telemarketers suck. Yeah, high vis vests. I do have bright orange vests like I use for hunting, or I have a high vis stocking caps, depending on the case. Now, right now, I generally got. Give me a second here. Right now, because it's cold out, I've got this hat. It's not high vis or anything, but it's warmer than anything else I got because it's freaking cold outside. I can't get comfortable with a vest on over my gear right now. I'm just getting to the point where my vest, which is like right there, doesn't quite fit as much as I used to because I've lost a lot of weight. But I do have bright orange hunting vests that it would work. It's about this high vis, really bright orange. And you never know when you're going to need it. But I would like to keep some in Jenny's car because as I can't carry a lot, her trunk can carry a lot more than I can carry personally. Then we can just pick and choose the gear that we need for our trip and leave her vehicle at, say, her workplace, and we can figure out a way home from there, if we are able to. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to carry everything that both of us need. There's no way I could do that. So Jenny does have a backpack that we're throwing into the back of the trunk of her car that she's going to carry there. Now, she's going to be carrying the lighter gear like the food and things like that. But generally, I'm going to be carrying the heavier items like our shelter and things like that. We're both going to have 2 sets of hiking poles because no matter what people say, hiking poles work really well in pretty much most situations. Don't discount a decent set of hiking poles, folks. They are worth their weight in gold, especially if you're not sure how you're doing it. Like my French Army tent that I was talking about possibly hooking up to the get home bag. I took the old poles out for that and replaced them with my hiking poles, and they work just fine. Water wise, I have several filtration methods. I've got water purification tabs. I've got iodine infused cotton swabs that can be used for disinfecting water that way. If I need to, I shouldn't have to in a normal given situation, because if it's not a grid down or emergency situation for everybody else, doesn't mean it's not an emergency situation for yourself. And if anybody wants to come up and hang out with me, please do. I'm gonna put this in the chat. See if anybody's interested. You're more than welcome to come up. That way, you guys share your and coming up with me and hanging out and putting in your anecdotes, that kind of thing. It's listed at the top of the chat. Please, I'm welcome any and all people. So, I carry fishing gear, portable fishing gear in my truck, that kind of thing. But if my truck's home and I'm at work, I generally can't carry anything, so I have to transfer some of that gear to Jenny's car. And one of the things I carry, this is one of them over here to get it. If you give me a moment here. What did I do with it? Please forgive me, folks. I'm trying to remember where I put stuff. One of the items is... Oh, there it is.
You're fine.
Welcome back, Jason.
I am back. Our supper showed up.
Yeah, we had ours right before we went on. One of the items that I carry in my bag is this thing. This is not the one. This is my extra one, but this is a 6'6" telescopic fishing rod. Now, the one I carry is a Shakespeare with an open face reel type. This is just my backup because you never know when you might need one. Molly has one for her gear.
Yep.
So she's got the shorter version of this. But they do come in handy. Yes, it's at a Chinese knockoff from probably Temu, but I paid like less than a couple bucks for each of them. And these things are worth their weight in gold, especially anybody who knows how to fish. Because it doesn't take much to carry a little bit of cooking oil with them, whether it's canola oil or whatever, in your gear. It won't go bad according to weather, whatever, and cook some fish, whatever. I know Jason can do it because he's one heck of a fisherman. He's got a lot more gear than I do. Yeah. But I'm one of those guys. Let's go ahead.
I was agreeing, except for when I went into Iowa, I could catch anything.
Well, I think my type of fishing, even though I don't call myself a fisherman, is catch anything that moves. I don't catch big ones. I catch a lot of small ones, but small ones add up. Exactly the same.
What's up, Doug? Gary?
Yes.
Dan?
Doug. Yep.
And whoever else is in the chat that I missed. Oh, the cats went up on me now.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, got that big red I was after.
Well, good for them.
And he brought it to you.
And he brought it to me.
That's even better.
So I had to put the rat outside with him. I didn't want half of it, or I didn't want Molly to listen to it and chew on it.
Hey, the cat's on the board. That's all that matters. You got to put the cat on the board. You got to give the cat a name.
Yeah, it's Rat Cat.
Rat Cat.
Rat Cat.
Not Ratatouille?
No.
Exactly, Gary. Exactly. I carry two separate sets of keys on me at all times. 3 if I have my truck keys on me if I'm driving that at the time. And that's part of my everyday carry. I mean, I carry my cotton bandana, my magnesium rod and striker, and a whole bunch of other keys. And as anybody who was in the military recognizes these, well, you saw one earlier.
You don't have your can opener on there?
That's on the other side.
Oh, okay. Generally, you keep that tape shut too.
I keep my my P38 is in my wallet.
Ooh.
So I carry that one with wherever I go.
Yeah, that one you want to kind of keep from opening so it doesn't get you.
I carry one of these. But I carry an extra item that, okay, you're wanting your can opener. But you recognize this kind of key, Jason?
Yeah, it's a can key.
And it's used for what?
Vending machines, if they'll fit.
Uh-huh. You know why you carry something like that?
Problem is, there's like about 250 different types.
I understand that, but the thing is, all it has to do is open up one. Thing is, generally, Iowa is pretty much I-80 is east-west. If you know where I-80 is, which I live off of I-80, I know where north, south, east, and west is. So I don't generally need a compass. I know my general geography. Now,
I use the moon, the stars, and the sun.
it depends on the weather. If you can't see either one of those, you got to go by other means. And I carry more than one knife, too. I got that one. That one. I carry this one mainly because it's my medic one. I carry more than one of these, too, so before anybody asks. And Jason already knows what this is.
Yeah.
My Gerber suspension has pretty much everything I need is on this.
Multi-tool.
I have found recently that we have some medical items, because as a medic, I collect medical gear. Some iodine cotton Q-tip type things for wound cleaning wounds. And if anybody knows anything about disinfecting water, just a few drops of iodine into your water, a quart of water, will disinfect it after about half an hour.
Need my help?
Or maybe a little bit more or less, depending on if it's cold or not. I don't have anything like that, pretty much, because I am more of an archer than I am one of those, and my wife is nervous around those things. Now, I do carry, I do own a couple, but nothing that she is comfortable with, though. I do want to get I'm not sure if a 9mm would work or not, but that's in the future. Was that good for you as it was for me there, Jason?
Say again?
You burped?
Yeah.
I said, was that as good for you as it was for me? That's just two of my bows. My third one's down here. I have another 5 on my wall. I have actually 2 over here to my left. I've got another, Ian's got another 6 or 7 in his room, including a crossbow.
For a minute there, I thought I said I have my SKS with me. I'm going, what?
I don't have anything like that.
No, rub on the road. I don't have my glasses on.
I just need something I could take backpacking with me or bushcrafting in certain places where I don't have to worry about coyotes. So, or if I go extreme northeast Iowa where the Yellow River is, they have a probability of bears. Probability is what I said. That's not a possibility, but a probability. So that's not common, but it can happen. Now, The ability to make fire, that's a given. But like I said, in a non-emergency, we're not world-ending thing. You're more likely to need your get-home bag than you're not. Whether it could be a haversack, it could be the gear your everyday carry gear. I mean, Jason's not that far from home, so he could walk home technically.
Oh, yeah.
In about 15, 20 minutes, depending how fast he is. And what gear you're carrying with you. And how hot the weather is. Or what the weather is. If it's raining and wind is blowing and everything else, you might go a little slower than you would normally.
Like I said, I just stroll.
Yeah, but it depends on the weather. If it's like tornado weather, you're going to be cautious about your getting home. Probably, Rob. I've only been to England once for like a half an hour, so I can't really classify that as a trip to England. But Jenny has lived there for like a year and a half, so she's been there longer than I have. Because she was.
I got a question for Rob.
Okay.
Aside of bacterium and stuff like that, what is the most dangerous animal in the UK besides humans?
Rats.
Wildlife.
Rats are wildlife.
Well,
you can't tell me it's not. It causes the plague. Remember?
I was just curious.
If you have an aerosol can that you can carry with you, great. I actually heard in one of my books by Ron Foster, one of the main characters, she actually carried a can of industrial wasp spray and a lighter.
Yeah, don't need a lighter.
No, but the lighter deters human predators more than just the bugs.
About 30 minutes.
Because, hey, Big Mike, how you doing? No werewolves. We're not talking an American Werewolf in London. Though I'm assuming that's what you were thinking. Now, I don't know how many of us have to take medication on the regular. Do you carry?
I'll get it to it.
Do you carry the proper medication you need for your body with you every day?
Oh yeah.
In case you can't get home. Now, actually, this is a good question for you, Jason. I know you live near a creek, and there's several bridges in your area.
Yeah.
If something happened and your bridges got taken out between you and work, that would delay you getting home, correct?
Not really.
So your 1 mile getting home would not be 1 mile anymore.
No, then I would probably have to walk about 100 yards.
Depending if that bridge is not out too.
Well, that is the only bridge. I'm 100 yards from it.
So if someone took out that bridge,
yeah, of course. I'm not going to go through it when I was raging, full. No,
that's what I mean. That's when that's when a not necessarily a apocalyptic ending type thing, just a natural disaster or just bad weather. You've had flooding down where you're at.
And there's several bridges in the area.
Right.
They don't all get taken out.
Bacon can be considered a medication if it's the protein you need. If you're hypoglycemic, protein is good for you.
Yeah, Robin still hasn't answered my question yet. Whatever what he's looking for.
No, I already agree on bacon being a medication because protein sticks with a person who's hypoglycemic than not. Now, I said hypoglycemic, not diabetic. There is a big difference.
Yeah, especially when you get bacon in a bag, already cooked.
You talking like jerky?
Called bacon jerky, yes.
I have seen bacon jerky, yes.
Yeah, I know. Beefcake jerky sells it.
Okay, top 10 is cow, noble, false widow. Not familiar with that one. Adler, deer, really? Wild boar, yellow-tailed scorpion. You have scorpions in England? I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, I got scorpions here too.
Weaver fish. I'm not familiar with that. Portuguese man of war. That's a jellyfish.
Jellyfish, yeah.
Jellyfish generic. Typically 8, 9 of the
spider. So in other words, a black widow.
Okay. Australian redback spider. Now, I don't know about that one being here in the States. Doesn't mean it can't be. I've never heard of one. We have the ones that we have problems with, besides the tarantula and the black widow, is the brown recluse. It is highly common in a lot of different areas. And those, their bites, while not toxic or poisonous, it is necrotic, which can cause a lot of major damage.
Yeah, it's an enzyme and a bacterium which breaks down flesh.
And I've heard several old folks' remedies on how to fix that. Oil of smoke is one of them. I can't guarantee that one, but that's what I was told growing up.
Oh, and corn monkeys.
Corn monkeys, you're in the wrong state for that. You got to come to Iowa for those. Now, to me, in my get home bag, coffee is one of the main reasons. I think, especially instant coffee.
You're gonna have to watch some of Dan's videos about the corn monkeys.
You got to find out who Herbert T is and corn monkeys.
Yeah,
I think they're related distantly to the Jersey Devil, the swamp ape, and Bigfoot and Sasquatch and stuff like that. Same as the chupacabra. They're all related.
the chupacabra.
Yep. That's in your area, though.
No, that's Southwest.
You're still Southern Texas.
No, we're East Texas. Big difference.
How far south are you? I know you're at. I'm just saying. I'm just using it as a generic. I know exactly where you live.
Yeah, no, I'm nowhere near the border.
Okay.
I'm like 8 hours from the border.
Herbert T. Walker. That's a good one, Doug. Children of the Corn, I think, takes place in Iowa, though. But I've never really delved into that fact because I couldn't stand the movie. I don't like horror movies. Reality is tough enough. Oh, sorry. Putting stuff back in my pockets. Now, everybody does an everyday carry on their person, generally. Whether it's a pocket knife, lighter, those of us who carry Fresnel lenses in their wallets. Myself, I carry more.
There you go, Gary. There you go, Gary. There's that link for you.
Nothing wrong with haggis. Jenny loves it.
Yeah, it's good.
Jackalopes, those are more in the Dakotas, I think. Or is that more in Kansas, Jason?
For what?
The jackalopes.
No, that's going to be the Southwest.
I've heard them as far east as Kansas and South Dakota.
Well, they got jackrabbits up there. They might have them.
They're related. They're cousins.
It's a Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada thing, as far as I know.
Mostly east of the Mississippi, or west of the Mississippi, generally.
When we were moving here, I had the money, but I did not buy it.
By what?
A jackalope.
Jackrabbits are protected.
Full-sized table taxidermy.
Oh, wow.
I just had nowhere to put it.
Nothing wrong with that. I understand. Not yet, but you will in the future.
They wanted, what, $350? And that was like, what, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
We're getting a little off topic, but okay. I'm okay with it because I like a little bit of mystery stuff anyway. Now, I don't think we're going to be running into Bigfoot or anything like that here, though Iowa does have its own version called, I think it's the meter visitor from the 1920s. if anybody wants to look it up, go right ahead. The Iowa does have its own unique creature.
Oh, Colin, you should be watching this episode tonight with Sergeant's Talk.
What's going on?
Top 10 benefits for 50% VA compensation disability.
Before you, if you can copy that link and send it to me on Instagram, I'll watch it later. I'm not stopping my live for that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just letting you know.
But I will take a look at it later. I'm already going through the process right now. It takes 6 to 9 months or 6 to 7 months to go through all the gears. I've got 6 different items I'm going for right now, and most of them are documented. So already in the service. So I know it's going to, hopefully they're going to approve them all, which is going to help me a lot in the long run. But that's down the line right now. I still got about 4 more months. No, I see October, November, December, January. I still got about couple more months.
Already there. It's sent.
Thank you. Now watch it later. But I've got a really good VA rep here in town, and he just recently got out, and he's really gung-ho about it. So it's good to know.
Well,
it's Jackalopes with a K, though, Big Mike, just to let you know. Now, I would worry about somebody like Mike and his condition. You met Mike at the gathering, I believe.
Oh, yes.
He is not
Big
in the
Mike.
best shape.
What are you talking about?
And if he's using his device to get around, without the cane, he may have to figure out how to charge it to get around if he can't drive his truck or something. Because a lot of places won't take him because of his size. No offense, Big Mike, but a lot of cars will not fit you. I'm sorry to say. Now, could you fit in my truck? Definitely. Could you fit in Jason's minivan? Yeah. But some of these smaller Ubers and stuff like that, probably not.
No, get down.
What the heck was that?
The dog.
No, my screen went.
He saw that. He was dude. It's circles. So it's stages. There's dude.
Oh, okay. Children of the Corn? Okay. I kind of figured it was filmed here. If I'm going to watch a movie about something supernatural, I'll watch Field of Dreams. Sorry, that's a much better Corn movie, hands down. But we're not going to get into movies because, like I said, I don't do horror movies. Life is scary enough. I don't need to artificially enhance it. Now, Jason, if you lived further from home, what gear would you carry? If you worked further from home, that's what I meant. Sorry. Say 6 miles or 8 miles. And you couldn't get, if your vehicles was down due to weather, they shut the roads down. Like that freak storm that came through with the snow and everything.
There's no such thing as a freak storm anymore.
But like it did this year.
No, we knew that was coming days in advance.
Yeah, but still, if you don't have the trucks to put down salt or plow it or whatever, it's nothing you're not used to, and they close the roads because of that, what do? Especially down in Florida. They got 7 to 10 inches down there. They never get that, but they got it this year.
Yeah, but they knew it was coming.
But they don't know how to deal with it. Doesn't matter if you know it's coming.
Oh, believe me, there's a lot of people down there that know.
Because the government cannot buy plow trucks out of the blue. Even if they have 10 months to know in advance, they still don't. They can't. You got to find the funding, and the fact is, it's a once in a freak time to do it. There's no way they can know and have the gear ready to take care of the roads in advance.
Believe it or not, they did.
But there's no point. They can't justify the cost.
No, They have something just as good as plows. It's called front end loaders, backhoes, graders.
Not exactly.
They used them. You didn't see the videos of them clearing the snow off the bridges?
I did not.
Yeah, they're using the backhoes and the front end loaders, scooping it up and turning and
Now,
dumping it
that
into
works
the river.
great for the main highways, but not for the small in-town places.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
not
they
like everybody has their own snowblowers anymore.
every municipality and county has front end loaders and backhoes.
No, what I meant was the average person does not have snowblowers or snow shovels.
No, everybody knew. We just hunkered down for 2 days.
So that means you were shut down for 2 days.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready for it,
Actually, a day here, but
if you're not ready for it, what do?
everybody here is ready for a hurricane.
Or what about the people in Western North Carolina, where their houses were completely wiped off the map? There's no way they could prepare for that.
No,
And they knew it was coming, and they still couldn't prepare because they don't have any place to live.
Yep.
That is one of my pet peeves. I'm trying not to go down that road because that's a rabbit hole I can definitely fall into because I'm really torqued off about that. But that's me. Okay, Mike, I understand.
Have fun, Mike.
The excess of heavy plant. I'm trying to figure that phrase out, Jason. Can you clarify? I mean, I'm trying.
Oh, heavy plant equipment is what I'm assuming.
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. It's not like sand and mud, unfortunately, because slush is harder to deal with than powdered snow. Now, there are some people who did get a lot of dry snow, but that's rare in Florida.
Got the dry snow here.
You got the dry snow, which
we were on the northern side of the storm, though.
Yeah. When it's getting higher humidity, that means that's wet snow, which means hypothermia can catch into you just like that. So you got to be careful with that. And Doug, who was a transplant to Florida from New York, he said he's been there since '97, and he's not used to the cold.
Oh yeah, like I said, high humidity is a big factor.
And also the fact is, when you live in a warmer climate, that means your blood's going to be thinner because your body has not built up the tolerance to the cold. Gary, you're not wrong. I would carry weird items with me because you never know what you could trade for stuff you need. Baseball cards would count. Or in this case, nowadays, I would probably say like Pokemon cards or Magic the Gathering cards or anything like that might be just as valuable. But baseball cards, not so much anymore. But you're not wrong. Especially if you have to get a distance away for water or whatever. Or if you're in a situation where, say, a storm goes through and it takes out the cell towers. Unless the places like gas stations stuff have a Wi-Fi internet system or something, or satellite internet, that means credit card machines are going to go down. And if they're down, only thing they're going to take is cash.
Oh yeah, we've experienced it here.
And if those go down, that means ATMs are down.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're needing water or any other supplies that you may not have right away, that's going to be a difficult situation. Now, carrying cash is a possibility, but how many times you get to the point where, oh, I'm going to take a little bit of this, just a little bit here, a little bit there. I will replace it on payday because say you needed gas for your car, you needed this, you needed that, an emergency bill came up, that you're going to have to tap into that. A lot of people don't have that ready cash to be able to just leave it there and not touch it. I'm sorry, a lot of people live way below the poverty line. It's not practical. That's optimal. I mean, if I could do that, I would do that myself. Carrying a card like a debit card or a gift card or anything like that,
You still
that
need
itself
that.
has inherent issues because of the same reason as I mentioned about say a power goes out for some unknown reason, whether weather related, such as a tornado or a hurricane or something like that that takes out the towers that allows you to have access.
Like I said, when Barrel came through, we made sure that we had cash and everything else well, so that we can get fuel. I was one of the only few people that can get fuel because everybody had their cards and they couldn't get fuel.
Well, the thing is, if the power's out, that means the pumps are down.
No, they had the generator. They were ready.
Oh, okay. They were one of the few. Okay.
Yeah. Quiet. They said our gas stations here have power when the power goes out.
Okay. Well,
They got generators.
Texas is a little different than most because a good portion of our oil in the continental United States comes from there. So that's one thing you got in your favor, Jason.
Oh, yeah.
And when I talk about water bottles, I transfer to Nalgene bottle because there's nothing wrong with carrying a good Nalgene bottle wherever you go. I carry that. I also have a water bladder I carry as well, which carries about 3 liters of water. I have one in each of my bags, so you never know you have enough of those. And
Those 5-gallon water bottles, make sure you got those at home too.
we have the big water jugs because we have a water cooler.
Yep.
We use those because those things will work if they're powered or not. Just push a button and the water comes out. I have the same thing, and as everybody who knows me, I work in an alcohol distribution warehouse. And when I'm given free alcohol, I collect it and hold on to it. And I use it for trade. Right, Jason?
Yep.
I think I brought a bottle down with me back at the gathering, I believe.
Well, I brought a bottle back, and I finally opened it, 11 months after?
Probably. I don't know. I can't remember what I brought. I know I brought something.
I think we had Bacardi Gold.
I think that's the one that.
That's when I bought Walmart.
Oh, that's one you bought. I thought Cliff brought one.
He did. He bought his own.
I brought wine, and I'm not sure if I brought whiskey or not, but I don't drink at all, but I do believe in a fair amount of trade because a good thing of whiskey will get you places. And also it does double as a backup antiseptic, as a medic. You know the value of certain things.
Oh, yeah. I still rather have coffee than alcohol.
Coffee is a good trade item too, but you got to be careful with that. Because people know you're carrying coffee, they know you're probably carrying other things. So don't carry coffee too much. Like if you're going to do something, carry. Let me see what I can do with it. I just had it. I just set it down and I forgot what I did with it. Crap. What did I do with it? I set it down and I forgot what I did. My little it's right here. If you're going to do something like that, Jason, if you're going to for trade, do one of these, and you tell them, I have 2 left. This is my only one. This is one I can spare. You're not getting my last coffee. This is what you give them. You don't show a big stash or even a box. But these right here, you can stash these pretty much everywhere on your person.
No, Gary. Black coffee. Cream and sugar is a treat. I have every once in a while.
I will carry sugar with me. I don't care what it is. I will find a way to vacuum seal sugar cubes if I have to. And before someone mentions using honey, sorry, it does not taste the same to me.
I prefer the honey.
Honey, I've used in tea, rarely, but not coffee. There's something about it. It just doesn't sit well with me. Right now though, with the medication I'm on, artificial sweetener, I can't drink very much of, which includes Pepsi, folks, which people chided me for years about the amount of Pepsi I drank. But it's the artificial sweetener. It just tastes off for me right now. Not as much as you think, Rob. Honey is actually easier to transport, you think.
Oh yeah.
Whether you're doing it in like straws, you can use it in combs, which is really easy to carry it that way. As long as you got to keep it cool, because as soon as it gets warm, it will liquefy.
Yeah, it makes it easier to drink.
Now, if you let it crystallize, it's even easier. As they found when they excavated one of the Egyptian tombs, they had found honey that was a millennia old or more. And all they had to do is heat it up and it reconstituted itself, and it was perfectly fine. But it's I believe, it's an antibiotic, I think.
Antibacterial as well.
Antibacterial, yeah. And it's good on wounds and a bunch of other uses. And if you're a beekeeper or know how to do is it herpetology, I think? Or that's snakes. What's the name for bees? Beekeeper, whatever it is. I can't remember it at the top of my head. Antiseptic, I think, is probably right. I think I was wrong with the antibiotic thing. But it's got multiple uses. Apiary, thank you. I know Jason's got some skills laying in that direction.
Yeah.
But he's not 100% proficient, but he's got more skills than most people.
I'm still waiting for a wild hive.
What if you do if somebody sends you a hive in the mail?
Then I'll accept it, but I still want the regular wild hive. Because then I
don't
don't
have a chance to get your skills in by working with real bees for yourself, not as a get rid of situation.
Yeah, but like I said, with the wild hives, they know how to take care of the bromites and some of the other stuff, where the domesticated bees don't know how. But
what I was thinking, what I was saying was, it give you practice working with bees, not just as a pest control person, such as you are. You normally relocate them, but you don't. This one you're going to relocate onto your own property and use for purposes. Now, if I were to send you bees, I would find a local bee company down in your area to have them shipped to you from there, because
I'm not spending that. That's $400 for a nuke.
A what?
$400 for a nuke.
A nuke?
Yep. 3 frames of bees and a queen.
Oh, okay. I didn't get the term. I was like, that's what threw me off. I go, nuke?
Yeah, it's called a nuke.
I did not know. That's a term I did not know. But I think we discussed bees several times on all 3 of our channels. But yours, Cliff's, and mine. It depends on what kind of bees you're looking to get. He wants to find a more natural hive. Now, in my lifetime, I've found like 4 or 5 of them by accident.
Yeah, because I looked in my area, and the Borrelia here is off the chart. Now, and I'm not spending that money to take care of bees.
What about if you put your feelers out for people who are trying to get some bees removed? It's like your old job, but you're just looking for the bees.
I'm afraid I get too many calls. I only have a couple of people that will call me if they come across it.
Yeah, but the thing is, the more feelers, no pun intended, you have out, the more likely you are going to get one hive. And once you do, you take down your feelers and that's it. Unless you're planning on doing more than one colony, which I doubt.
I only have enough room for one home right now.
You got one room for one colony. That's it.
One colony. That's it.
Okay.
I'll add more when I have some.
When I first met up with Rob Cornfed at one of the lakes I was at near Lake Aquabi when I lived over in Milo. We ran into a colony of bees in a tree hollow. Be well, Gary. Thank you for coming.
Get back to work.
If you do a video on your get home bag, let me know. I'd like to be a part of that. I'm a firm believer in having the proper gear to do what we need to do. But thank you, brother. You're awesome. Now, Jason, how big is your hive that you currently have?
10 frame.
10 frame. Okay, I've seen 8 frame. I don't think I've seen a 10 frame.
Yeah, so
it's
a 10 frame.
Okay. It's not one of those ones that are the easy flow hives, is it?
No, no. This is just a brood box.
Okay.
You know, once I get a brood and they're doing well, I will order the flow hive.
Okay.
But I gotta order a second brood box because I want 2 brood boxes because I want a large enough colony so they don't. So if they split on me, half of them will stay with the new queen, and then I will have another box backed up right next to it when the split happens.
Good to know. I've always been good at finding stuff. That's about, which is really weird. But bees, I've only found 3 colonies so far in my lifetime.
Oh, I find them all the time, but not here of all places.
No, well, the thing is that I don't intend to find them, or they find me, or I'm not sure what, I think I like things find me most of the time, like finding stuff like this or my backpacking gear or, the things that I come across that most people shouldn't, but I come across it anyway. That shouldn't be here, but it still is. Like this gear here that Ian got, that I ended up with. Don't try to, just sort of happens. Now, your homestead, I'm just basically I'm going to call it because that's
that's pretty much what it is.
It's not. It doesn't. Homesteads don't have to be huge, folks. That's one thing most people don't realize. Yeah. They do sustain amount of people on the property, and I believe that is your mother-in-law, your family, which includes your daughters, and that's it, right?
Yeah. It's a total of 5 acres between the 2 pieces of property.
And you're completely outnumbered.
Oh yeah.
Unless the cat's male, then you're getting closer. But they have a lot of skills amongst all of them, which is really cool. I don't know what your mother is. It Kathy, right?
Yeah, sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law, and her husband. I'm not sure what he does.
Nope, she does. She is by herself.
Okay, I wasn't sure. She's got skills because you can't be a single woman in Texas without having some skills.
Nope, she's a city girl.
She's a city girl? Oh,
yeah.
No. Any hobbies?
Nope.
She doesn't crochet. She doesn't do anything like that?
Nope.
No.
Wow.
Nothing.
That's all on you then, Molly, right?
Pretty much.
Because Jenny's still going to do those videos with you about crocheting some stuff. And she did send you that one stuff. Jenny did pick up some new yarn today. So Ian and I, when we went down to take care of some stuff, I'm going to be acquiring a squirrel skinner from a friend of Tyler's. It's going to have my name on it, Kincaid Outdoors. I can look forward to being able to use it, especially because it allowed me to squirrel small game faster and more efficiently. Israeli bandage? Oh, Doug, that was the bread and butter of all military. Because the one thing you should know about Israeli bandages with any military, how many does an average military person need? Jason, any
What?
idea?
For themselves,
Wrong.
enough for themselves.
Wrong. I know it's going to sound weird when I when
Everybody has, because everybody has their med kit.
That's still wrong. You're close though, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'll explain why in a moment. 4. You're better, but not good. Okay, the basic answer is each person should have 2. And if you have to put a bandage on somebody else, you don't use yours, you use theirs. And the main reason for carrying 2, especially if you get shot, there's usually a entry wound and what else?
An exit.
An exit wound. So you need 2 on average. The 4 is a good start, but not necessarily practical on the average day. But 2 is normal. As a medic, that's one of the things we learned. I didn't understand it why when I was in the Air Force. This is before I became a medic. No clue why. Now I know why. But Israeli bandages are the first bandages everybody learns how to use. And if you look at any military style first aid kits you see online, that's what they carry is the Israeli style. And that's the main one they use. Now, the abdominal ones and then the bigger kits and stuff like that, that's a whole different ballgame. I'm not going down that road because I am not an instructor on first aid kits. I just know what the EMT schooling I took taught me. And my skills are over 25 years, so 22 years out of date. 2000, yeah. 22 years out.
You want to feel old? Guess what I got today on my my little news flash?
AARP application.
No. The 1986 Challenger explosion. That was a long time ago.
Were you still in school?
Yes, I was in school. Actually, we missed school that day on purpose to watch it on TV.
What year were you in school?
86, my first year of high school.
That was my last year of high school.
Yeah. They wouldn't let me graduate early.
Oh, on that note, what you were talking about earlier, Jason, about bees, carrying one of these is a good thing too.
Yeah, believe it or not, just a pocket knife.
Yeah, but if the pocket knife won't suck the venom out or the poison out,
Yeah, you're not going to get it out.
you're not.
No, it's already in your system.
That's what I mean. This is something you apply immediately.
Yeah, no, like I said, once you're stung, it's already in your system. Just scrape off the stinger. Don't pull it out and scrape it off.
Now, this one here is a pretty basic kit. I have 2 of these for a reason. But this extractor does work really well. It's that the extractor itself works pretty well, I should say. But the equipment it comes with is very, very basic. The extractor and all the adapter pieces for it. A razor blade to shave the hair off of your legs or whatever it is where you got bit or stung. Band-aids for afterwards. And if you pass out, you know what these are.
Yeah, smelling salts.
It's a one-shot deal, unfortunately. And you also get
Antiseptic wipes.
that's just sting relief. And I do have alcohol prep pads. Go with it. Now, the only thing I would add to this, which it does not have, is a styptic pencil. If anybody knows what that is a
well, you know what the Band-Aid's for, right?
Huh?
You know what the Band-Aid's for, right?
What?
To keep you from scratching it because it itches.
Oh, it will itch. It will suck big time. Whether even if it's a bite or a sting, it'll drive you nuts. Literally.
Like I said, I've been stung so many times.
Oh, I'm sure you have. I've been hit with. Last thing I've been hit with is wasps. Now they're bad, but not as bad as hornets.
Oh, jeez. Don't, you know,
Hornets are just mean,
oh, yeah.
and they sting repeatedly.
So do wasps.
But they're not as mean as wasps.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Here I've never seen the difference. I mean,
Oh,
I know how to get rid of regular wasps, but
tell you what,
hornets not so much.
the worst one I've been stung with is that black and orange hornet. The tarantula. Was it the
I've heard about that one. The one that's the one that hunts the hunter.
yeah. Yeah,
I've seen
those
that
things
one.
hurt.
They don't have those here. But when I was
Tarantula hawk. That's what it is.
yeah, I've seen those down in Arkansas, of all places, because one of the times we were on maneuvers, we had to go do some training over in Arkansas, and tarantulas were everywhere there. You wouldn't think they would be in Arkansas, but Arkansas is a lot. Where we were at, I was going like they were climbing up the outside of our tents. I go, people are going, why would you do that? Why'd you get so close to it? Because as soon as you do that and they hit the ground, they go, and it's a safety precaution. You have to, because they will crawl up on you even in your tent.
What are you doing?
Yeah, because they're trying to stay warm.
But I'm way off to my initial topic. I apologize. Thank you guys for leading me down the path of this, but you got to watch out for insects on your trip ways home. That I don't have a lot of other than this right here, which I carry with me wherever I go. I don't have a lot of stuff like that, like bug spray, which I do have some stuff for bug sprays and stuff like that.
Oh, they do make sunblock with insect repellent in it.
Give me a second. Oh,
2-in-1?
Just 2-in-1. Just keep it in your bag. It's a wipe. You just pull it out and you wipe yourself down with
I
it
need a
wherever you're
replacement,
exposed.
but this one.
Yeah, and also wipe down the outside of your hat too.
Oh yeah. And I carry a bunch of these with me. I carry something in my bag that most people don't. You can see what it says right there.
Yeah,
No.
foot guard. Yeah,
This is very important, and also works is if you don't have your shoes tied proper, whether it's boots, tennis shoes, whatever. If your shoes are not tied properly, you will get blisters as you walk. Getting home is twice as bad when you can't walk than it is if you do your shoes or boots properly. And having foot glide and blister resistant stuff, or even having petroleum jelly or anything like that, or even moleskin. I love my moleskin, guys. It should be in every set of gear. I don't care where you're at. Because if once your feet go down, you're miserable until they heal. Because you would believe how many people will just say, "Oh, I can just make it a little further." If anybody has seen the movie Wild with Reese Witherspoon,
nope.
about a lady who was walking the Pacific Coast Trail, and one point of the movie, which is, by the way, this movie is based off real life. It really happened. The lady whose this life was based off of actually did this on the trail. Her boots fell apart, and she was still over 15 miles from her destination. She literally had to make tape the bottom portions of her boots, or one of her boots, with duct tape to make a sandal of sorts in order for her to walk for the last 15 miles. Her other boot, she chucked over a cliff. And she basically made her own sandals out of duct tape. and she walked the last 15 miles that way. Now, I may be wrong on the actual distance, but she did have to walk quite a bit on duct tape. Now, I do follow movies and stuff like that because they do have kernels of information that you could use. Though there is one Nick Nolte one I will not recommend, but it is funny. That about two old guys walking the Appalachian Trail, which I think you might like, Jason. If you like Peter Fonda and Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
You don't like either one?
If it doesn't have Godzilla in it, yeah. Well, I'm a sci-fi junkie.
Give me a second here. It is called, not that one. A Walk in the Woods.
Nope, never heard of it.
It's basically two guys in their 60s hiking the Appalachian Trail because the guy traveled all over the world writing about all these different places he's been, but he lived literally on the edge of the Appalachian Trail, which was like literally right behind his house, but he's never been on it. It is a really good movie. It's just they never complete it, but it's a really good movie. I just thought it's not the great, follow your any kernels of information from, but it's a good movie. Hey, Anarchy, how you doing?
Hello.
8 artists. Okay, get ready for this one, Jason. I think this one might be one of those other kind, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Be forewarned, everybody but you here is a moderator. Don't push it. Be polite. I don't mind questions. Just make it on topic if you can. We do go a little off topic, but we're talking about something similar, like a walk in the woods, as well as wild and things like that, are basically getting from point A to point B for a reason. And get home bags are the same way. Now, I don't foresee you and Molly being able to walk very far because of the lung problems that Molly has. Nothing against you guys couldn't do it. It just, she has her breathing problems, which could cause an issue. No offense, Molly. I'm just trying to, be realistic. I understand. Now, being practical though, get home bags are very important to everyday life, not just fun, not just saying, oh, what if, that kind of thing. It is not the end of the world type stuff. This is basic preparedness for any situation, whether, like I mentioned at the beginning of this live, is that getting home because you miss your ride from work if you're on a band pool, which happened to me. Running out of gas when you're halfway home, which has happened to me. Going off in a ditch because the snow blew your car into the ditch. The wind blew your car into the ditch. Has happened to me. And not having a bug out bag affected each and every one of those reasons. Though I was much younger, I was about between 38 and 40 when I did the run out of gas thing. And I was really, really long ways from home when that happened. and I lived here in Newton at the time. I think I was, where was I when I did that? I was going towards,
Sorry, I haven't been paying attention. I've been waiting for visitors on the bait station.
any luck?
I saw one this morning. A nice fat one. But since the cat showed up, it kind of like dropped off. King of Bling has already putting the stuff up already. I wonder if King of Bling and King Breakbar are the same person.
I don't know.
I have to check into that.
I'm trying to figure out my. I'm trying to figure out where I was at when I ran out of. No, that might have been in that area.
Yeah, Doug wants to know your thoughts on the chest seal.
Chest seal.
Or is that crest?
No, chest seal is right. It depends on the situation, Doug. Those are usually for sucking chest wounds, and whether they could be from an impalement or other reasons.
A misfortunate person.
Yeah. So it could be from a car accident, and stuff, such as a
blunt force trauma will do that.
Not as much as a tree branch or somebody hitting a piece of rebar off the highway.
Yeah, well, I'm also talking, the steering wheel broken.
That's blunt force trauma. It would not cause a sucking chest wound.
Oh yeah, well yeah, broken rib might.
It might from the internal thing. Then the bandage he's talking about won't work.
Yeah. He's building a kit. I mean, when you're getting into that kind of stuff, that's stuff you need to be trained for. I don't know if Doug is or not. I'm not. I'm just trained for basic CPR until medics get there.
I mean, even my skills, I mean, there's only so much you can do. Yeah, from when I ran out of gas when Ian was a baby, and it was really tough because it just 10 miles is what I had to run. I was old. I was in really good enough shape where I could run back in the day. Oh, no apologizing for medical questions. I'll answer them to my best of my ability. But the fact is that you're asking questions, nothing wrong with that. Jason can agree with that.
Yeah, and remember, your training's 25 plus years old.
Mine is. But
everything,
the thing is,
a lot of stuff has changed.
A lot of the equipment has changed. A lot of the techniques have changed. But my techniques still work. They're not as advanced as they are now. Yes, they're 22 years out of date. But they still work. The same thing I knew then still works now.
Yeah.
It's just not as efficient as it is now. The new stuff is. I don't have the gear like I had to either. So that's another thing. Having the proper gear to attend to things like that. And I will say this, the good Samaritan law only goes so far.
Yeah.
So look into that. Please, 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 folks. And also, I will mention this one more time. Please make sure you have something like this in your gear. I don't care what part of the country you're at, you're going to need it. But people say, oh, I have a car, I have a truck, I have a motorcycle, some other vehicle. I don't freaking care. You don't take care of your feet, you're not going anywhere.
That's funny, Doug.
Yeah, well, that's when you basically, there's nothing you can physically do unless you have a med center within 5 to 10 miles of you. There's nothing you can do. You could try calling it in if you have signal, if there's someone listening. There's someone there to pick up.
Especially if it's somebody you don't like. I can't get signal.
Well,
I'm joking.
That happening. Don't get me wrong. It can happen. But generally, if you can help, great. But the best thing you can do is apply pressure and have someone call 911. That's all you're going to be able to do.
And why do you never go hunting by yourself?
Yeah, we always hunt in pairs. And if it just is your partner that screwed up,
no, you need a witness.
Yeah. Or at least create a good fictional story that what happened. No crap, there I was kind of situation. Or hold my beer situation.
Yeah.
That's a Florida thing. So Florida man situation.
Oh, I made him choke on his beer.
Nothing wrong with that, Jason. You did the right thing.
Yep.
Just remember, breathe out, not in.
Yeah, never leave a witness. It depends on what happened.
Yep. Good one on you, though, Jason.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to go down to the fire station and say, hey, when is your guys' next class?
That is not necessarily a bad idea, Jason. But remember, not just you.
Yeah, everybody here, yeah.
Everybody.
I'm the only one here that's...
first aid, not just for one person. Because if you're the one that goes down, they're not going to have the skills needed. And I hate to say this, you're bigger than all your family.
Oh, no. Like I said, I'm just a purple band.
You're a what?
I'm a purple band.
What is that?
Do not resuscitate if something really bad happens.
Oh,
No, in an emergency situation, I think Molly would rather have you there helping her than you being purple banded.
Yeah.
You can't tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, she would try.
She would definitely try. If I was there, I would definitely try. I don't care if you have a purple band or not. But that's because you're my friend, and I know Molly needs you.
she is.
No.
I won't do that to you. But yeah, I want them to
No, you know, nothing against Molly, but
be in your body.
he doesn't have all your skills.
Yeah.
I don't need.
Now, everybody should have some medical training of some kind. Like Jason said, getting some basic first aid is a skill you should all have. It's not much to do it. I mean,
Those classes are free.
a lot of them are, yeah. The American Red Cross does some classes. You said the fire department does. Some other places do.
Most of your municipalities will have free classes throughout the year.
I think the YWCAs or YMCAs do classes as well, if I recall. I think some of the VFWs and American Legions might have some classes. And if you talk to any of the local school hospitals and clinics, they might give you reference to where you can go look as well.
Yeah.
But the thing is, while free is a good start, don't leave it be at that.
Yeah. Now, like I said, those are going to be your bare bones basic classes.
Exactly.
When you go to the more advanced ones, those are the ones you have to pay for.
Yep. And no, using your Boy Scout survival guide with the first aid section doesn't count.
Doug has a good thing. That's something they don't teach in school anymore.
First aid.
CPR, that kind of stuff. They don't train. They don't do that in school no more.
I'm
My
actually
kids-
trained in the electroshock stuff. Not everybody is on that one.
because they had the bare bones basic when I was in grade school.
I actually know how to do blood pressure and all that stuff. I have several blood pressure cups on me. I don't have a lot of manual ones, unfortunately, because fighting
No
the
one's gonna have a manual one or stethoscope to do that.
I need a new stethoscope because my stethoscope, a lot of the stethoscopes are too narrow for my head and they push into my ears. And with my hearing problems, not a good idea.
Well, they got the electronic ones now too. So,
But Jason, please promise me you guys will get some of this stuff for your gear,
oh yeah,
please. Anybody, this is Foot Glide anti-blister balm. It's by Body Glide. Look it up. Add it to your gear. Hey, Body Glide covers a lot of different things for a lot of different athletes and stuff like that. So a lot of runners use it. A lot of backpackers definitely use it. And it's used for other things as well because chafing happens while you're walking. And if you
especially
don't have
Trojan
that,
games, especially during the Trojan games. Sorry, 14-year-old of me again.
that's okay. Hey, remember, I was a 14-year-old too. But this 14-year-old knows a lot more. But basic first aid is great, but you got to keep up on it. Also, make sure your gear is up to date because your first aid stuff gear does expire. I personally like carrying waterproof bandages, such as Band-Aids and Curade and things like that. I actually like using the ones with antibiotic ointment already embedded kind of stuff. I do have some skills I picked up after the military that's not normally taught, and that's burn wound care. That's because of Jenny. But she got second to third degree burns.
Now, how many people in the chat actually have maxi pads in their bag? I do.
Not my bag, but I have access to them.
Yeah.
They're in the bathroom.
No, I have them in my bag. I got, 4 in the bag?
I've got my basic kit right here.
Yeah.
But this is not all comprehensive, folks.
Yeah, like I said, it is the best bandage for, a bleeding wound. Cut yourself, trying to, do firewood, stuff like that.
There is a quick and dirty method that is widely accepted, not just maxi pads, the tampons.
Yeah, the plugs.
Yeah, because those plug wounds. A lot better than the Israeli bandages, folks.
Well,
they
like I
do
said,
what they're
I'm not
meant to do.
expecting to have a puncturing wound.
Puncturing wounds can happen from like limbs falling.
Oh, yeah.
Impaled objects happen, folks.
Yeah.
I've stepped on a fish hook, not fish hook, a fish bone when I was in my teens. It went in that far into my heel. They had to dig it out. They couldn't pull it out. Ended up with a hole about that big around and that deep in my heel.
Oh, it's not as funny as watching that firefighter watch me pull that big old giant cactus spine out of my leg.
Okay, impaled objects are not supposed to be pulled out by you.
They weren't able to
better.
touch me. They said, "Oh no, we can't do that, anything like that." I'm going, "Okay, who's got a Leatherman?" And one of them pulled out a Leatherman. Okay, who's got the wipe? Wiped it down, cut, turned around, grabbed it in, and just yanked it right out.
Okay.
Oh, it was painful.
This right here is your friend too.
Oh yeah.
I don't care what brand it is. It could be like the generic here, like Walmart equipment version, or the Neosporin. Doesn't matter. These are your friend. Keep them on you. Keep them accessible.
Oh yeah, they're in my bag.
Lip balm, folks. can be your friend too for multiple reasons. If anybody's watched anything on any survival show, lip balm is more than just for your lips. So, yes, you can use it to start fires. But
yeah, the only thing I don't have in my bag is sunscreen.
That's on my other. Oh. There's my lip balm. Oh, and this. This is always good too. I can bet most of you don't carry any of that.
Nope.
Because they don't think about it till it's too late. The bug spray stuff, all that stuff. Keeping it on you is a good thing.
Oh, and also a small bottle of Ambisol too, believe it or not. The oral gel.
Yeah, this works too. This is by the Naked Bee, so this is all natural stuff. This is good for blisters and stuff like this as well. This is what you happen. What you use this after you get the blisters. Unfortunately,
like I said, I grew up in the Southwest. I know what the sun does.
Now, some people might try. Okay, I don't carry this one with me because it's an aerosol can, but hydrocortisone spray. It's great if you get poison ivy, but if I'm going to do that, if you get poison ivy, look for what is it called?
Judeweed.
Judeweed. Yeah, that is the natural remedy for poison ivy, which is usually not too far from that. They grow in the same area. Doesn't matter. Even leather can get blisters from things. Now, I do plan on getting a proper external first aid kit that I would use like everyday stuff, which would carry like the foot body glide stuff and like the lip balm and small, blister stuff. But you need a comprehensive one as well. But that's get one you can reach to immediately, and then you have your main backup. Though in Jenny's and I cases, we'd have to have two. Because she has more foot problems than I do. Now, I mentioned this before. One of the things that you got to make sure you carry in your get-home bags that most people don't think of is their daily medication. If you something you have to take every day, like I do, you carry enough with you to last a week, 2 weeks, whatever you think you can safely carry without it, getting damaged due to heat or whatever. Okay, let me bring that up bigger there, Jason, so I could read that. I've got some of that. That's just basically cherry flavored aspirin.
Yes, it's in a sealed packet. Let me grab another bit. Here.
I carry mine in a sack.
Sorry, guys, it's late for me.
Nothing wrong with that, Jason.
Nope.
You're perfectly fine. Yeah, I've got some of the powdered stuff too.
It is a sealed container.
I've got some of the powdered stuff too.
Yeah, this stuff.
I've got to figure out where I put it. I've got a whole bunch of it. This right here is something else you need to carry with you.
You can take me back down.
Sorry, Jason, but that's a good idea. I've got a whole bunch of that.
Yeah, but in the paper packets, it's not waterproof.
No, mine's the other one. It's like same like this. This is the electrolyte drink mix.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at the moment, I got to find a new version of this because the artificial sweeteners that makes this up, because this is sugar free, I can't physically handle the taste. But those are good
sweeteners.
I'm just trying to remember where I put one of mine, for I could show you, Jason. I have about a whole bunch of those. Well, actually, right here. This one is a different version.
Yeah.
This is the Tylenol version.
Yeah, but like I said, it's not in a waterproof container.
This one is.
Is that one
This-
waterproof?
Yeah. This is not. See the
Oh, okay.
shine. I got a bunch of this.
Because I got some regular ones that are in the regular paper packets. Yeah.
I
They're
do
not
have to get a new. I do have to get a new batch because this one does expire soon. As you can see, this expires in May. But I've had this for a couple of years, so it is not too hard to pick up new stuff. This one does have some other stuff you got to watch out for. But this one is basically it's Tylenol. It's Tylenol and aspirin. It's both. So it's a pain reliever, fever reducer, but it's got 500 milligrams of aspirin in here. Now, this would work for me in a pinch for my everyday heart stuff that I have to take. I would mix it in my coffee, though. Just saying. I would not want to just try to put that on my tongue and just drink it.
Yeah, this stuff is wonderful for my toothaches until I can get to the dentist.
Right. Orogel, like you mentioned, is a good choice too. There's some other stuff that's supposed to work really well.
I mean, you can put it on scratches and stuff, and it takes the pain right away.
I believe it might be like licorice root or something that you can put on toothaches. I'm trying to remember.
No, if aspirin gets too old, it turns toxic. Just like cocoa does or chocolate.
Okay, licorice root reduces tooth sensitivity if you're getting like a cold sensitivity or type of thing, and it also promotes healing. So that's a good thing you might want to consider. But that's a little bit more in depth than your average get home bag would carry.
Yeah,
that'd be more of a home thing, like Jason's, his homestead. Mine, I might have some for my house, but not for my get home bag. Now, that might change if you already have dentures or something like that, which some people might.
Yeah.
And if you do have dentures, then you got to watch out for the sensitivity to your running out of your adhesive for your dentures.
No, what I'm saying about the Orogel or the Ambicel is good for putting over scrapes and cuts too.
I can't use penicillin. There is medications that you can get that would work in place of that. I am not advocating to that right off the bat. I'm not saying it's a gospel thing, but it does work, and you can get it without a prescription. And it's fish medication.
Fish mox?
Fish mox. I actually have to get a different version than that because I can't use moxicillin because
it's a derivative.
It's because it's too close to penicillin. But there is another version of a moxicillin that I can take. That's what I normally take when I need something. But you can get that all in fish medications. Like I said, I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying that it's out there. You want to do your own research and that kind of thing, but you don't need a prescription to get it. You just order it online. They'll mail it to you. Yep. So Doug understands. He's a worker, the same thing I am. But that is a good thing to have on hand, though. A lot of the stuff, if you get it in the powder form, it's not needed to be refrigerated. But you do need to keep it dry and out of the sun. So
Dark, cool place.
Exactly. If you have a root cellar, that's a good spot. I would not put it in the fridge. I would not put it in a freezer. But in your basement, if you have one, I don't think Doug may have one because I think he's in an apartment, but a closet somewhere.
Yeah, I like that, Doug. That's funny.
Now, I can literally call myself radar because that's exactly what I am. You know why, Jason?
Because you live near Ottumwa, Iowa, and you wear a beard.
I literally grew up 15 miles from Ottumwa, Iowa. I was in the Air Force. I was an admin first. Then I became an Army medic, which basically made me what? Radar. The fact that I had glasses on top of that did not help. And I'm not as short as Gary Berghoff, but I am not tall either. I'm a lot stronger, though. And I never slept with a teddy bear. But look into fish mocks, that kind of thing. But be warned, it is not the 100% the only answer, but it's just a direction I'm pointing you to. So be warned, be safe, and use your best judgment. What do you think, Jason? Any thoughts, ideas, suggestions?
Knowledge is power.
Exactly. Herbal remedies are great to a point, but take everything with a grain of salt. Okay. A lot of these things people just slap together because if you look at any survival website, you'll find anything that says herbal remedy, this, that, the other thing. Just be careful. Like I said, I can't take.
Yeah, you almost need a witch doctor to make sure you get the proper doses.
Dosage is a big thing. Unless you're properly trained, dosage is everything.
Oh yeah.
So you got to be careful. Now, I am still trying to find. I've been looking for this answer for years. I know a lot of the one medication that's in willow bark is the same stuff in aspirin. I don't know how much willow bark tea I would have to drink to be the equivalent of taking an aspirin, a baby aspirin.
Unknown.
Exactly. I don't know. I've asked
You
people.
need a witch doctor. Yeah.
I know. I know a lot of herbalists and stuff like that. People who do herbology and things like that, and even they don't know. I believe it's a salicylic acid or something like that. That's the same as aspirin. I could be wrong on the pronunciation, so bear with me on that one. It's not my common conversation deal, but I have looked it up because I'm always curious because willow grows everywhere. There's water. And also, that's a good thing to notify yourselves of in any state, especially down where you live, Jason. I bet there's a lot of willow down your area.
Not a whole lot as everybody thinks.
But if they're in an area and you see willow growing, but you're not sure about water, willow only grows where water is at.
Oh yeah. But like I said, I haven't seen it here. I don't even have aspen trees here.
I don't have aspen trees here either.
I want a Seneca aspen, but
Actually,
This is stupid.
they do have willow in Texas, and it's salicin is the compound that the body converts into salicylic acid, the active ingredient in aspirin.
mm-hmm.
So willow bark tea, like I mentioned, can be used for pain relief, fever reduction, soil stabilization, to help prevent soil erosion along.
Now the question is it the bark or is it the camion layer that you're after?
I'd have to look.
Yeah.
I mean, difference. Well, the thing is, I've seen people chew on it, and it works.
Yeah. Like I said, is it?
But I've also seen people make infusions with it and things like that. And
because me being in ornamental horticulture, I would think it would be in the camion layer. Because that's where the juices of the tree is.
Okay, you have aspens. They're Trans-Pecos mountain ranges, probably not near where you're at.
No.
Uh, Along their lower elevation cousins, the cottonwoods, aspens belong to the willow family. Like willows, aspen bark is rich in salicylic acid, the main ingredient in aspirin, and it uses it as a chemical defense to ward off insect attacks. There's something. You rub it on your skin so you can protect yourself from insect bites. Willow leaves and bark, the active ingredient that dulls pain. I'm not sure what you. Oh, here we go. No, that's not it. You got black willow down where you're at. Boiled willow bark makes a beautiful red colored tea that reduces. It's a tea. You make a tea.
Yeah.
You boil the bark.
Okay, that's the bark layer then.
Yeah. It reduces fevers, pain, and swelling due to salicin, thus converting it to salicylic acid. So, yeah, you make a tea out of the bark.
Yeah, inner bark or outer bark?
Doesn't specify.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. Outer bark is going to be full of dirt and pollutants.
Inner bark.
Inner bark, okay. So just
That
above
would be like cambium there.
Yeah, the cambium layer. All right. That's what I was
It's
thinking.
the white fleshy layer between the outer bark and the wood.
That's the cambium layer, yes. Okay.
You boil that, it makes a nice reddish tea, and you could use that to help. Well, I would use it for my heart, but you could use it for other things too.
Okay, now for those of you who are in the chat that don't know, the cambium layer is going to be where the xylem and phloem are. The water of the plant goes up into the leaves, and the leaves convert the into sugar, and it goes down to the phloem, down to the roots to store the sugar.
Okay. Besides using the botanist definition,
Yeah,
the layman's terms is
the squishy stuff under the bark.
the white squishy layer between the outer bark and the actual wood.
Solid wood, yeah.
It is also can be eaten for some calories and carbohydrates as well. You could roast them in chips.
The sugar.
Yep, you get a little bit of sugar, a little bit of carbohydrates, but it's not a long-term solution, but it can be done. Now, I don't know if you have a lot of willows down in Florida. You'd have to look in your area. I know they have them here. We now know they have them down in Texas. And
it just depends on the willow trees. There's many, many different types.
Well, they said willow in general. Anything in the willow family. Even cottonwoods is a part of the willow family. The aspen the aspen tree.
Yes, sort of.
You have probably varying degrees of that salicylic acid stuff. So they would all work in varying degrees. Some better than others, but they would all work.
I have this nacho fries with steak.
Oh,
pretty much the meat.
Not right now.
You can roast them or eat them plain, but I've seen people make them like chips.
What?
The cambium layer.
Oh, yeah.
But that is like a last minute. You haven't found food for a couple of days type of situation. Now, it's not something you're going to become a beaver or anything like that. Your body could not handle it, but it would give you some energy, not a lot. Your best bet is getting protein, some kind of meat, or high protein bean of some kind, wild edible. Now, it depends on your area where you're at. Florida's got a lot of diversity on wildlife, definitely, and I know Texas. You're a fisherman. I know you can catch anything you need, pretty much, Jason, and hunt for the rest.
Oh yeah, we got squirrels, beaver, bobcat, raccoon, last resort, deer.
We have pretty much all those too, but you also have cattle. You also have boar.
That'll get you in trouble.
Well, boar. You have boar too.
Oh yeah, we got the wild hogs. Yeah, but no, like I said, stealing somebody's cow is pretty frowned upon.
Well, like I said, this would be like a last minute ditch situation. But the thing is, your traps. If you do set up a trap for catching an animal, you're not necessarily going to catch a squirrel. You're not necessarily going to catch a rabbit. You could catch a weasel. You could catch a skunk. You can catch a raccoon, or even a possum, or a groundhog for that matter, or even a weasel of any kind. It happens. Or as Tyler said, one time he actually got a flying squirrel. Not an option. It's not common, but it happened. And there's nothing you could do about it. It just happened. But
I'll let everybody know traps don't discriminate.
nope. It could be a dog. It could be a cat. Wild food, I mean, when you're hungry enough, wild food is easy. I am picking up I'm acquiring a small game skinner from a friend of Ajax's, Tyler's, and it's going to have my name on, Kincaid Outdoors on it and everything else. But I'm going to use it for rabbits and squirrel skinning. No, I am not going to be planning on tanning hides or anything like that, but mainly making it easier for me to process them.
And tanning hides is not as easy as everybody thinks it is.
Oh, I don't plan on doing any tanning.
Yeah, like I said,
Don't
I
get
don't
me
have
wrong.
that experience. I need to get with somebody and learn little tricks to doing it correctly.
The people you might want to talk to, it's going to sound weird, is rendezvousers.
Oh yeah,
A lot of them have that skill, and I know for a fact there is a large group in your area.
oh yeah.
And not only do they have a lot of the skills translate from prepping and all that other stuff, because and your homesteading too. They know all those skills, and reenacting is your friend, folks, in this kind of situation, because they don't just learn the skills; they live the skills.
They practice all the time.
Exactly. Buckskinners are called buckskinners for a reason, and which is one of the reasons why I want to pick up a black powder rifle, because one, it's not considered a firearm. It is highly expensive, though, unless I can find a used one from somebody who's willing to.
You can find them at pawn shops all the time. The bad part about them is cleaning them after you're done. Oh my goodness.
Well, if you've been in the military, cleaning a weapon when it's dirty is the first thing you have to do. And
Black powder's totally different.
they're not just dirty; they're caked in grease. It's basically you have to strip it all the way down to the bare metal and start from scratch. And even then, you got someone looking over your shoulder to make sure you do it right. But remember, when you're doing it by yourself, you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you do 100% the whole thing yourself. One of the things I just recently remembered that I found of one of my stuff is one of these. You're familiar with these, Jason?
Yeah, that looks like one for a shotgun.
Yeah, this is like for the 12 gauge I got. And this would not work for my 20 gauge, though.
It's too fat.
It's too fat. Now, I did find out something really cool, though. The military rifle kit that I found works great for my 22.
Yeah.
So
that's because most military weapons are 22, 223.
Yep.
243.
So it works great for working with low caliber rifles. But eating small game, Jason and I both done it. We got a squirrel in the freezer right now. We need more than one. And I have less than 3 days to try to acquire another one. And Ian is out of the game right now, unfortunately, because his license expired on the 10th. unfortunately. Give me a second here. I gotta
Get a nuisance tag.
can't. You know why?
Why?
We're just inside the city limits.
Ah,
Now,
Outside.
we can get one if we had well, something I've already talked to you about before is that groundhog.
yeah.
Ian recently discovered that there's something moved into the den of the groundhogs. It says it moves around. A possum moved in. So possums are not on the list. So I'm assuming it's a trapping only kind of animal. So I don't know about possums at all.
Yeah, right there. Doug agrees with me right there.
What's that?
read his comment.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to pull up my something else and it's not working. I'm trying to pull up my. There it is. Yeah, I've still got. Yeah, Ian has one day to get his new ID and his hunting fishing license for the year. For hunt squirrels one day. If you don't want it, I'll take it off your hands.
But they're so much fun, though.
Oh, I know that. I've shot one before. But the thing is, what I want is a little bit old school. Because of the reenacting I do, I want to be able to use it in with that. It still works like the modern ones. It's just I like the design of the older style. What I wanted to do is find a kit where I have to put it together myself. That way I am 100% sure of every single part that goes into it and what it takes to get it ready to shoot, which includes cleaning. And having gun oil is 100% in your kit at all times because while 3-in-1 oil can work, I would not use it unless I had no other choice.
Ballistol.
What?
Ballistol.
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, it's an oil you can put on firearms and non-firearms. I also have I can't remember the other one that I have.
Well, I let people know I'm in the market for a black powder. So rifle, not pistol. Not modern either. While modern would work, I'd rather have a more deer hunter kind,
Just get the modern replica.
Well, I mean, no, but it's I want the same look, but I'm not a modern.
A modern replica.
Yeah, a modern replica. I'm not looking for old school, but I like the look because when you do rendezvous and stuff like that, they don't allow modern black powder in.
But it's a muzzleloader season. It doesn't matter how old it is. It's a muzzleloader.
Now, like I was mentioning before, in Iowa, bow season, the tail end of one bow season and the beginning of black powder season crosses over for 1 week. And I was planning on getting, if I got me a black powder rifle, I would get my licenses for both. Because which one shows up, whichever one I take it a deer down with, that's the one that gets the tag.
I tell you what, Colin. Like I said, the modern day version of a replica that I have is awesome. It's a pistol.
Oh, I understand that.
It does the job.
Well, I'm sure it does, but that's not, Let's see if I find that freaking thing.
Yeah, all you need is water about 110 degrees and some Dawn soap to clean your black powder. Then you got to get it dry as soon as possible.
Oh, I know.
And then you got to oil it.
Yeah, the cheapest kit they have on here is like $400, and that's for the deer hunter kit.
Yeah, I know. You can probably pick up a inline muzzle loader for about $200.
Oh, I know I can find a modern version of it, but like I said, I want to be able to incorporate it into the reenacting part because that's helped me learn skills that I would not learn anywhere else. My dad is long past and he knew all the skills, but a lot of the skills I learned is from reenactors. Because reenactors do everything we are trying to learn, but they live it every day. Some more than others. I don't know if showing off a muzzleloader kit on here would constitute a ding or not, because it's a kit. It's not fully assembled.
You can show a picture of it.
It is a picture. That's all it is.
Yeah, you can show a picture of it.
Okay. I want to make sure. I'm going to bring the picture up where it's just the picture.
Yeah, you just can't throw up a physical.
No, I won't be holding anything. But I just wanted to make sure on that because I don't want to get dinged.
Rumble is a different story.
Oh, I understand about Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I want. This is the deer hunter. And that's why I want to learn how to do it myself. Well, it looks like it has a lot of parts.
There is parts.
But not as much as you think. I would finish the stock first. Sand it down, stain it, seal it. Then add the trigger and the lock back. This one even has the sling mechanism, which is nice. Not all of them don't. And that's got the ram, which is nice. And stuff like that. So as long as you follow the instructions, it would take like little to no time at all to deal with. And now the only thing I'm not sure of that I know some of them do is in the butt of the gun. They have extra wads and things like that they can carry. But I think that's an add-on than not, if I remember correctly. But
you need the one that has the coffee grinder in it.
Explain.
The coffee
sounds familiar. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, the coffee grinder inside the stock. Some of the old school rifles actually had them on there.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
No, but like I said, that's what I'm looking for. But that's a $400 setup right there. I know they're cheaper, and they can be mailed directly to me without having to go through needing licensing or anything like that.
No FFL required.
No, not required. Because a lot of thrift shops and things like that can sell these when they're fully assembled, because they're not considered firearms. Now, the black powder and the shot and the primers and stuff like that, that's a whole different deal. Because this is the primer version.
Yeah, that's a percussion. Yeah.
There are versions of this that has both the flintlock and the primer. So you can switch them out.
I don't like them.
I just stick with the primer. Though, having a flintlock version in a backup situation would not be a bad idea. It's just not as accurate. Because it's the flash in the pan thing. But as you can see, that would be a really nice one in its entirety, like that. Now, they do have another picture of this one. Give me a second here. In its entirety put together. Which I can show because it's a picture.
Yeah, YouTube, it's a picture.
That's what it looks like when it's all put together. To me, that I could use that in my rendezvous and buckskinning events, as well as hunt with it. Now, would I carry something like that when I'm deer hunting? Probably, as a backup. But I'd have it as a backup in case something gets out too far and I know I'm not going to be able to get it. but I'm still within range of this, and I have the tags for this. That's the biggest thing. Make sure you have your tags, and you still get your deer without having to run 6 million miles to get it, and still would be within the law. But that's pretty much it. If anybody's got any other suggestions, ideas like that, I know you have one, Jason. Yours is use of the primers, correct?
No, mine uses percussion caps.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Percussion caps. And they're hard to find.
Yeah,
sometimes.
both of mine do.
Percussion caps. When I mean primers, folks, that's what I meant. Please forgive me. Percussion caps are common nowadays. And
Expensive.
they are expensive because they're hard to find.
They're not hard to find. They're just expensive.
If anybody who does reloads knows what we're talking about, because they happen to use them a lot in reloads. I don't plan on doing anything like reloads or anything like that, but I like having the options of that.
Now, depending on the firearm that I want to get, I will be doing reloads with that because the rounds are that expensive.
Now, I do know that there are some adapters that could use modern firearms and turn them into muzzle loaders or black powder rifles. Dave Canterbury is a big supporter of that kind of thing. I myself don't have a proper one, anything to use for something like that. Wish I did, but I don't. But because the 12 gauge that I do have is too heavy, too big, too bulky, and it tears my shoulder up when I shoot it. So
yeah, using too hot of a load.
No, I use the lightest load I can find. It kicks like a mule. All 12 gauges do. And with exception, there was a pump action one that I used when I was at the outdoor expo a few years ago when we were doing skeet shooting. I missed only 2 shots out of like 23, which I think is pretty good. I've never done it before. But once you know what you're doing, it's just like butter. Ian did even better than I did, and he never shot one before in his life. He just got really good hand-eye coordination. But that's what we get for learning. We do bare bow shooting. Basically, you don't have to worry about sights. Just shoot the target. Okay, folks, I am getting tired, so please forgive me. My knee is like throbbing right now. It's been acting up pretty bad because I had to do some wandering around and going to take care of some business. So I'm going to cut it short here. It's 9:35. I am sorry that I can't answer everybody's questions. Doug, really good medical questions. Jason, funny anecdotes. I really appreciate it. Dad jokes are always appreciated.
Hey, keeps the world going around.
Hey, we're both dads. We both understand completely. But please make sure you check out your your get home bags. Make sure you check your gear. Make sure they're up to date. Watch your expiration dates, folks. Though, I will say this: even if this thing is expired, it will work. It may lose potency, but it'll still work. Just not as well. Now, if this was 5 years out of date, then I would not even touch it. But about a month or two, they should be fine. You might want to look into it to verify that. But right now, I'm going to say thank you all for coming. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I am not going to name everybody's name because I would take me forever to do so. So be well, be safe. I love you guys all. And for Jason, would you please say what you usually say?
Get out there and slap a rat.
And we're out of here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Corn monkeys.
Corn monkeys. There's a good one.